Hey guys, we're back for video number 3. In case you have forgotten, this is
Jennifer.
and I'm Sheila. So remember we told you that there would be forms coming. And now that's where we are because guess what, y'all?
We're there.
We're there because you have found a house that you love, that you want to buy. So Jennifer's going to go through a quick, brief, very quick.
I think I have the two
Longer.
longest ones. So I'm going to try not to bore you, okay? But I do want to make sure that you understand them. So if you remember on the very first video, you did the property showing agreement, okay? We had several properties on there. Now you found the one. So now we're going to be a buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Which means we're going to take great care of you. This is actually a lot like the showing agreement. It's going to talk about the commission. We've already established our commission. We've already established that we're going to ask the seller to pay it in the contract, which we're going to go over in just a minute. We are going to not discriminate. We don't do that.
We don't do that.
This just says that you are going to be timely in getting your inspections, that you're going to pay for those said inspections. We're going to meet deadlines, all the things like that, okay? This also says that we're going to do our best to find you the property. We're going to present your offer. We're going to negotiate your offer, okay?
Yeah.
It talks about mediation and arbitration, which we're going to go over that again in the contract, so I'm not even going to bore you. And basically, that's it, okay? It just outlines your duties, our duties, the commission.
Yep.
Done. Buyer's agency agreement.
Good job.
Yay. Okay, so now you have the 11. Is it 11? Yeah, 11-page contract. So we're going to do the Reader's Digest condensed version of this. I'm not going to go over every single line, but obviously we're going to put the property information on there. We're going to do agency disclosure, which is who's got it listed, who's got the buyers. We would have you. We are going to make the offer. We're going to tell them when we want them to respond to us. We're going to tell them what our offer is. We're going to talk about earnest money, which if you don't know what earnest money is, basically it is just it's like a little down payment. It says that you're serious.
Right.
We're serious about our offer. We can afford to buy a house if you're going to put money down. We're going to protect that earnest money. We'll talk about that in a minute, but every seller is going to require you to do that. We're going to go through financing. Are you cash? Are you a loan? What kind of loan are you? What are the terms of your loan? All the good things. We're going to talk about lender required repairs. If you get a government backed loan, you may have some lender required repairs that are above and beyond your home inspection repairs, but certain things that the lender's going to want you to do. We are going to go through appraisal. It is contingent on it appraising for purchase price or greater. Your lender's going to order the appraisal. We're going to talk about closing and possession dates. We're going to talk about the buyer broker compensation. Yeah. Here's where we ask the buyer to pay that 3% that we charge.
We ask the seller.
We ask the seller.
Yes, the seller.
So sorry. I'm on a roll, okay? I'm on a roll.
She's doing good.
We're going to ask the seller to pay that 3% buyer's agent compensation. Then we're going to ask for any seller concessions. If you want the seller to pay a portion of your lender closing cost, any additional things that you want to ask them to do monetarily, we would put it in that spot. We're going to talk about the closing attorney, who we're going to use. We're going to talk about inspections. We're going to do it with an inspection, without an inspection. If we're representing you, we are highly going to suggest. We're probably more than suggest, that you have a home inspection. It is in your best interest.
Always.
We're going to talk about the repair request, which we'll go over that in a later video. We're going to talk about any additional inspections, whether you want to have radon, septic, termite, all the things. We're going to go over those forms later too. We're going to talk about a final walkthrough. That final walkthrough is what we do right before we close to make sure that the house is still in the same state as it was. We're going to talk about how you want your deed. We're going to talk about title. Do you want a home warranty? Lead-based paint. If it was built prior to 1978, there's going to be another form that Sheila's going to go over. We're going to talk about if it has an HOA. There's some more disclaimers in here. We're going to talk about mediation or arbitration. If anything comes up between the buyer and seller, would we be okay with a mediation or arbitrator coming in? Gosh, the rest of it is just pretty much like legal stuff that's saying we're going to do the best we can, and you're going to do the best you can, and we're going to get through this, and then we're going to sign it, and we're going to send it.
Yep. And along with that is going to come more forms.
More forms.
So, the first thing I guess I'm going to do is this. This is just an estimate of your closing costs. So, some people don't know that it costs money to buy a house, other than the money that you're paying for the house. And it depends if you're getting a loan or your cash. So what you get from your lender, if you're getting a loan, is going to be much more accurate than what we're able to give you, because we don't know all the details of what you've worked out. But this will just go over those items so that you have kind of a ballpark idea of what it's going to cost you in addition to the price of the home in order to purchase it. The next thing is a dual agency form. This only comes into play if you are purchasing a home that WOW Real Estate has listed.
Yes.
Basically, it tells you that WOW Real Estate is representing both sides of this transaction, and we are required by law, by who we are, by faith, we are going to treat everybody honestly and fairly.
Yes.
Because the very best transactions are the ones that everybody walks away and it's a
Absolutely.
win-win. Everybody's
Absolutely.
happy. If the house was built before 1978, as Jennifer had mentioned, you're going to get a lead-based paint form. This just tells you that it was built before 1978, and there's lead-based paint in the house, because all houses, if it had paint on it before 1978, that paint contained lead in it. So that is just a disclosure that that the house was built prior to that. And then lastly, a buyer's acknowledgement. This is something you really need to read.
Yeah.
It's going to tell you all the wise things to do and things that you just need to be aware of. Like, if you want to know exactly where your corners are, get a survey. It's always wise to have a home inspection.
I think it talks about radon.
Talks about termite inspections, but this is just good information for you to go over, and there's several items that you'll have to sign off on at the end, just that you've acknowledged it.
And a lot of this is actually in the contract that I went over really quick,
Yes.
all the little points. This kind of explains what those things are.
Yeah, and most importantly, the reason we're taking the time to do this for you is because we use a program called Dotloop a lot. And a lot of people sign all this paperwork on Dotloop, and they're just going through their phone signing, and we think it's super
It
important.
makes us nervous.
We think
want you to
it's
know.
important that you have at least a basic knowledge
Yes.
of what we have sent you. And of course, as always, we're available for any questions or
Right.
comments or things you're not understanding. We are here. So anyway, that's just the brief overview, and that wraps up video number 3. And now we will move on to number 4. All right. Bye. Y'all. Thanks.
Bye.